What's up everyone? Kobanerwani456 here today, giving you all my first impressions and opinions on Sonic Boom for the Nintendo Wii U. As you all know, last week I attended E3 2014 in Los Angeles, California, and got to try out a ton of upcoming games for Nintendo's Wii U, and one of those games is Sonic Boom. So I finally got my hands on this game. As you all can see, I'm on the left side of the TV right there. I'll probably wave at the camera in just a second. But yeah, I finally got to try out the game, as I was really excited about this game when it was first announced earlier this year, as we finally got to see that we got to play with other characters besides, Sonic. And then also, I thought it was just going to be really good. There was a lot of exploration that was shown off in the trailer, a lot of speed sections, all that stuff. But then, a couple of weeks before E3, we got to see some more gameplay footage from, different people like GameXplain and other people who interviewed Big Red Button. And got to see that the game was very different from any other Sonic game we've seen, to where it was a lot slower paced than any other Sonic game we've played. And yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and give my opinions now, because I didn't want to say anything before and be like, the game's terrible from what I've seen or whatever, because I was skeptical, but I don't judge a game until I actually play it. So that's why, I was just like, I'm kind of skeptical, but I'm hopeful, and, I'm not going to say a game's terrible, after, just watching something when I haven't even picked up the game and tried it out myself. But thankfully I've tried it out myself and I can give my opinions. And I actually talked to Stephen Frost, before I played this gameplay right here. It kind of told me about how it was really hard for Big Red Button to kind of decide what stage they wanted to show off for the demo at E3, because basically the point they wanted to get across was that this is an entirely different Sonic game from the traditional Sonic games that we've seen from Sonic Team. It's completely different, and they did a really good job with that, actually. So he did say that there are going to be some pretty different stages, like, this is, not the final build at all. There are going to be a lot more stages with, speed sections and all that stuff, and exploration and combat. But for now, just from what we played right here, yeah, basically this was just, like the demo and whatnot. But I am going to give my opinions on what I played. So these are not my opinions on what I think of the final game or the final product, as this is not the final product. So don't think that I'm saying that this game is amazing or that it's terrible or anything like that. But I'm going to give my impressions on what I played. And considering that this game is just a few months away from actually coming out, I'm pretty sure that this is what we're going to get, but just with a bit more polish when it comes out later this November. But anyway, alright, so first off, I want to go ahead and talk about combat. As you all saw right there, this game is a lot more of a beat-em-up brawler, where basically you can just mash, attack buttons and take out enemies. You've got yourself a regular attack, which is like a melee attack, where Sonic can like do a punch or kick and all that stuff. And then you've got yourself the special attack that each character has. Sonic has a spin dash. I can't recall what Knuckles and Amy have, but oh, excuse me. I'm kind of tired right now, actually. My bad. Knuckles and Amy, though, I believe Knuckles has like this diving move, and then Amy uses her hammer for something. And then right here we got ourselves a chase scene, which is kind of cool, very cinematic, but very automated, because right here all I'm doing is holding forward, and I'm pretty much avoiding everything this dude is tossing at us. So the speed sections, and I'm going to say this right now, this is probably the fastest Sonic goes, actually, in this game, for what I've seen, besides the actual, like, the speed section stages, like the complete speed stages alone. Besides that, this is like the fastest Sonic goes, and it's very automated, which is kind of a letdown. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the combat. Sonic has like the spin dash and all that stuff, and it just feels it feels very simple. You don't have to apply or use strategy in order to take out enemies. Probably the most strategy you ever use is just use your enter beam to basically pick up an enemy and fling it at a boss or something like that. That's literally the most strategy you ever have to use when facing off against an enemy from what I played. So basically you can just mash the buttons and you're good to go. So some people may be like, it's kind of like the Werehog and all that stuff, and technically it is, but I gotta admit, I did somewhat like the Werehog at times, because it's kind of fun pulling off the different combos that game had that were pretty flashy. Even though, you could just use pretty much any button to take out an enemy, it was still pretty cool to use like the different combos and whatnot that the Werehog had in his repertoire. Just my unpopular opinion, but Yeah, with this game, that's not really the case. It's just like, you know, normal kicks and spin dashes and whatnot. And you can actually charge your attack and do a much more powerful attack if you'd like to. But you have to kind of like be in a standstill for a little bit in order to do that. But yeah, so combat, very simple, very easy, and yeah, just kind of beat them up. And I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the rest, kind of like the exploration and whatnot. There's a lot of exploration in this game. You know, Sonic does move kind of slow, but I'm pretty sure the reason why they did that is so that, you know, you will feel more inclined to, like, explore, kind of slow down and not, you know, just run around and do all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I can kind of see where they're coming from if they did decide to do it like that, you know, slow Sonic down to a slower pace so that, you know, you could explore more. But I don't know, I really do, like, what I've always loved about, you know, like, the older Sonic games, and even some of the newer Sonic games, like Generations and, you know, all that stuff, is that I love, you know, how you have speed, and then, you know, you have the option to slow down and explore if you want to, and find different pathways and whatnot, and do that. But at the same time, you still had that speed. You had the option to decide whether or not you wanted to go fast, whether or not you wanted to, you know, attack an enemy, or whether or not you wanted to, you know, explore. I always loved that about Sonic games. That's what made them unique. You know, speed was a reward after you learned the best pathway, and you could find out what was, you know, the fastest pathway to get through, you know, a stage as fast as possible. And I really liked that. But with this game, you know, it's just kind of like slow, and, you know, you just explore, and then you have combat, and then you just kind of do a little bit of platforming, and you just trot along and go to the next area. There's nothing really special or unique about this game. It's not bad, it's just not impressive. It doesn't do anything special at all. It's just, you know, just an exploration game, just, you know, a platform. It just, yeah, just another beat 'em up. And you can definitely tell that this game is targeted towards a younger audience from how easy the game is, especially with the combat and all that stuff, because like I said, it doesn't require that much strategy at all. Who knows, maybe we'll see more strategy later on, but from what I played, yeah, if you play this longer than, I guess, like maybe 30-40 minutes or whatever, you're probably gonna get bored, and, you know, I don't know. That's basically the best way I can put it. But yeah, you know, that's one thing I always have to constantly remember. This is for a younger audience. It's for an entirely different audience. Because basically Sega and Sonic Team have said that Sonic Boom is basically their franchise that they want so that they can branch out and try out different stuff and appeal to an entirely different audience and get new Sonic fans. Because what Sega has always done in the past is they have, like, you know, like with Sonic Unleashed, they had the Sonic gameplay that we like, the fast-paced action with platforming and whatnot. Although there probably wasn't that much platforming in Sonic Unleashed, there was still a lot of speed, so it felt like Sonic. It was exhilarating. But then they brought the Werehog. Well, the Werehog doesn't, like, you know, the Werehog isn't terrible, but it doesn't play like normal Sonic, which is why people always got upset about it. And that's basically, yeah, that's basically what Sonic Boom is. It's basically their franchise to do other stuff that doesn't play like your normal, typical Sonic game. And then Sonic Team is gonna work on, you know, the games that, you know, us, like, loyal, classic, or, like, modern Sonic fans love. So that's one thing, you know, I just kind of have to remember. So, you know, but overall, like I said, this game just isn't extremely interesting. In fact, some areas around here remind me of Epic Mickey. Like, you see this? Like, this area is like a factory and all that stuff. There's like all this green goop and whatnot, and Sonic moves at a slow pace like a Mickey too. Reminds me so much of Epic Mickey. I don't know why. Thank God it doesn't entirely play like it, but yeah, it's just, it does kind of get boring, like Epic Mickey, though, like, at times, you know, it's just like, there's nothing amazing. And I know I keep saying that, but I just want to go ahead and say that, because, you know, I don't want people to think, like, you know, I'm, like, completely hating on the game, because I'm not. I mean, you know, I'm definitely doing a playthrough on this game when it comes out, because, you know, I know a lot of people want to see that, and, you know, a lot of people, you know, like, I don't know, like, I think it'll be pretty fun in some sections, but from what I did play, like I said, it's just, you know, it's nothing special at all. And, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, the graphics for this game. The graphics are actually, it seems like it has more of an art style than anything. it definitely needs some more polish to it graphically, but it doesn't look too bad. It didn't really have too much slowdown from what I played at E3, but it definitely looks like this game is running at 30 frames per second, not 60, which is kind of a letdown because I wanted to see it be 60 for speed sections, but then again, when I think about it, there aren't that many speed sections, so I guess I don't really have to worry too much about that. Oh yeah, and what is it? Speaking of speed sections, by the way, another thing, I can't recall if I said this earlier or not, but when you actually get to the speed stages in this game, they do feel, they feel a lot like Sonic Dash. You basically go left and right, you dodge out of, out of the way from different obstacles that you're about to run into, and it's very automated. Like, it's not engaging, or you don't have to do a ton of input. I think that's the biggest, like, I think that's one thing that kind of does bother me about this game. Like, I don't hate beat 'em up brawlers, like beat 'em up brawlers aren't bad, but I do like, what is it? I like a game to be and feel like more involving, not just me just mashing a button or whatever just to do something, and or just moving left and right and that's it. Because I know some people may be like, oh, but that's what modern Sonic is with Generations. All you do is just boost and you move left and right and whatnot. But it's like, one thing I liked about Generations is that Generations, and like Unleashed and all that stuff, even though you had the boost, you could use that boost to your advantage. It was great for people, who just wanted to play a Sonic game and go fast and whatnot, and then still have platforming and whatnot. But I like the boost because you can take advantage of it and like do all kinds of crazy shortcuts and whatnot, which I thought was really, really cool. That's why I love the boost in Sonic Generation so much. But yeah, with this game, it's just basically quick step, side to side, and jump out of the way from things, and then tether on a few things with the inner beam, which all we'll see later on after I finish this stage here. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about, I just trying to make sure I remember everything, cover as much stuff as possible. What was it? Oh yeah, the extra characters. You play as, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and all that stuff. And, they play pretty similar to Sonic. They all run at a pretty similar pace. Amy's about as fast as Sonic. I think Tails is about as fast as Sonic 2. Knuckles is a bit slower, kind of like Sonic 3 Knuckles, where he was the slowest character in that entire game. But he's definitely the strongest. And I'm glad that they do allow you to actually play with other characters. But this game does kind of remind me of Sonic Chronicles at times, because you always have to have Sonic on your team, apparently, from what I've heard. I believe that's right. And for what I played in the demo, Sonic was always there, so... Sonic's always on your team, and then you have another character assist you to kind of get through different areas. Like right there, Amy used her hammer to kind of swing herself on those poles and get to the next section right here. And we are actually coming to the end of this demo. See right here? It's going to have a little cutscene, a little cinematic, and then, oh god! This thing is back. Kind of reminds me of something from like The Incredibles or Wonderful 101. And there we go, Sonic Boom, coming soon. Alright, but now we're going on to the speed section right here. Y'all are going to see exactly what I'm talking about with how the speed sections are. Yeah, I do gotta say though, I'm really, what is it? Do stick around soon, because I am going to have a 3DS impressions video. And that one I'm really excited to do, because I'm really excited about that game actually. It's going to be great. But that's pretty much all I can really say about like Sonic Boom for Wii U and all that stuff. Don't really have too much else to say. And yeah, I was thrown off by the controls because this was like the first time I actually played Sonic Boom. So I didn't know what the jump button was. So I kept pressing the A button and I kept running into stuff. So that's what really messed me up at first around here. But what was I going to say? Yeah, basically the best thing I can say is this is definitely a game targeted towards younger audiences. If you are expecting a traditional Sonic game, then you're not going to be happy. Come into this game knowing that you're getting an entirely different experience from any other Sonic game. There are going to be some speed sections around here, but look at this. It's automated. Like, you don't really press that much or anything like that. It's like more like watching a TV show or like watching Sonic Boom play itself, kinda. So, just keep that in mind. It's a different game. And thankfully, what is it? Sonic Team will have more games for, you know, people who like traditional Sonic games. So I'm excited about that. Alright, actually, I didn't do that bad right here. What the heck? Actually, they're kind of decent. What is going on? I thought I did terrible here. Or maybe I do terrible on this last section. Yeah, I did terrible here, I believe, on this last section. Yep, because my jump was like... I forgot what the jump button was. I kept getting thrown off by it. But anyway, yeah, that wraps up for this video. So if you did find this video informative and, you know, want to keep on seeing more, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button. It really, really helps out a ton. Can't thank you all enough for all the support, and thank you all for sticking around to watch this video. Like I said, I will have impressions on the 3DS version of Sonic Boom, as that game is fantastic. I'm so excited for that game. I never did think I'd actually like a handheld version more than the actual console version of a Sonic game, but I can definitely say, no doubts about it, the 3DS version probably is one of the best Sonic games I've played in a long time. It's just the perfect combination of everything, which I'll get on into later. But anyway, yeah, so if, like I said, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to go ahead and drop a like. It really helps out a ton. And I'll make sure to upload more of these as soon as possible. And I have some Hyrule Warriors footage as well, so I'll try to show that off too. But anyway, thank you all again for watching. See you all. Have a good day. Peace, Commando Mites.